the show me tell me. You don't hear it on there. So the show me tell me is a good part of your test. You have to get it to get your CPC card. So we're going to be talking through the questions that are available online and the questions that will be asked during your test. We will be taking roughly in turns, so you'll get a good idea as me as a bus driver and Stefan as someone who's never driven a bus before, whatever, set a bus test. This should be a good and interesting piece of video, so let's, without further ado, we'll get on with the first question.
Where would you find the unladen weight of this vehicle?
The unladen weight of this vehicle is normally on the near side. On this vehicle it is here. On some vehicles it may be a bit further back, but it'll always and should be on the near side of the vehicle.
How much extra weight should there be? No, should 15 passengers board?
15 passengers is normally equal to about a ton.
Or
1,000 kilograms. He's working me hard here, guys.
carrying 15 cases.
Is 0.33 of a ton, which is 330 kilograms.
100 litres of fuel.
0.1 of a ton.
Show me how you would check all passenger seats on this vehicle for comfort and safety.
To check the passenger seats, what we're doing is we're making sure there's no sharp edges, the seats aren't soiled in any way, and if the cushions detach, that they're not going to fly off when braking. Also making sure that they are securely fastened to the seat.
Question up to question 3. You are parked at a border crossing and have left the vehicle unattended. Show me what security checks you would make before driving through customs.
On returning to the vehicle, we'd check if the vehicle has them, overhead lockers. As you can see, this vehicle doesn't have them, but you'd have to say that anyway. We're going to be checking underneath the seats by just getting down on the floor and checking to make sure there's nothing underneath any of the seats. We can check the rear ones from the emergency exit in a second. We're going to be walking around the vehicle, so we're going to go on a little joint. Won't be checking under the wheels in case there's anything that could be lodged just under the arches there. Check underneath the vehicle. It's a lot of hard work this, to make sure you've got no polish hiding under there. We demonetise at that point. Again, the wheel arch, making sure there's nothing hidden underneath. Moving around to the brains of the object. I want to check the engine compartment by just opening it up and making sure that everything is how it should be and there's nothing obvious that people have been tampering in the area. So you've got no hidden packages. You're going to check your coolant tap. We're not going to take this off on this vehicle because it's faulty, but you're checking for fishing wire. So this panel opens as well, so you're going to check in this panel. So you're going to open all your panels to make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary. There, that oil level's a bit high. At this point you can check with the emergency door. You can check then under the seats at the back to make sure there's nothing untowards under there. Shut that again. Don't know how much of this I'm actually getting. Again, under the wheels, just to make sure there's nothing hiding there. Fuel filler cap, just pop that off, make sure no one's put any fishing wire down into the tank with any nice happy drugs on them. That will get you very quickly into a prison cell. Again, underneath the wheel arch and then into this compartment as it does open. So this is my battery compartment, so you're just checking, making sure, like on this, you'd be able to tell because of the fingerprints and stuff like that. So you're looking for obvious signs of tampering. I'm getting too old for this.
There you go.
Then we're coming round and then you check in here again. Any lids that open, you want to check to make sure there's no fishing wire inside them. And any lock compartments, you would require the correct key to unlock them to be able to check them.
You are driving a hybrid and flames appear. You are driving on a motorway and flames appear from under the bonnet. Show me how you would deal with this small electrical wiring fire.
Obviously at this point the examination station doesn't expect you to burn a bus. Just putting that out there. So for this you've got to explain how you deal with this. So you would stop safely at the first available location that is safe. You need to get all your passengers off to safety. Isolate your vehicle and fuel supply if you have a separate fuel isolation switch. Contact your emergency services and run like hell.
Yeah. But would you identify which extinguisher you should not use on this fire?
So at this point there is an image in there somewhere. I will put it up on the screen. The examiner will show you 4 fire extinguishers and you need to point and say which ones you would not or use depending on what the examiner said. So for an electrical fire you don't want to be using foam or water. Anything that is water based, stay away from electrics or fuel. So we're going to be answering in this 2 questions for you guys. We're going to be answering from the driver's seat and externally, show me and explain what daily safety checks you would do to this vehicle before driving it on the road. So this comes across as it is just your first use check, which we're going to do now. So very kindly, Stefan on this point is going to be the bus driver. So it could be an interesting one, this question. So Stefan has entered the vehicle for the first time today. So the first things we're going to be doing today before driving the vehicle on the road is
That looks alright. I don't know.
it looks alright.
You do it every day, don't we?
Battery on.
Oh yeah.
Check your warning light.
Where is it, Jordan?
Check your warning lights. You want to be turning this to C on this vehicle.
See?
And hold it there at C. It's a bit springy.
Just a bit.
So at this point all your warning lights would appear if we had them fitted. All your lights light up on your dashboard. On modern vehicles you just turn the ignition on and all your dashboard will light up. At that point you've got about a second to work out that all your warning lights are working. And your buzzer will sound as you heard. So at this point you can now carry on checking the vehicle before he starts it. Making sure we're in neutral.
Yeah, it is.
Handbrake is on.
Mm-hmm.
So we can start her up.
Push me up. It works.
So at this point we can turn on all the lights that are required to be checked. So main beam.
That's that one, isn't it?
All the way around, yeah. Interior lights.
Been on this.
That one as well. Cab lights, rear fog light, everything that needs to come on. We're going to be checking from the driver's seat. We need to check the horn works.
Really? There.
He's found the horn. Wipers and washers working.
There. Where's the
Lift it up. Wipers, washers are definitely working before you empty the tank. Got to turn your hazard lights on so you can check them in a moment when we walk around the vehicle. And just while we film this little last bit, because I didn't think that through, viewers, we're going to turn that off so you can hear us. Got to check the doors are working from the cab. And the doors work from outside the cab, which I'll do here. Got to check the demisters are working.
What the hell's that?
It's the knob near the driver. They come on, they work. Obviously in the mornings you aren't able to check that they blow warm, but you can check they do spin up and work.
Blowing out.
Should do. Want to check the kneeling suspension works.
Funny.
Just let us find it, it's in the dashboard. Now one's a rock.
That's the ferry one, isn't it?
Yeah, but you need to turn that to the bottom position, I think. And then you're onto the other switch then at that point. I think that engages it. I'll turn the other one to the middle. There we go.
There we go.
So obviously if you had a dashboard this is much easier to do. And then you're making sure it's going back up. So, yeah. So now you can put the hazard lights on and we can start taking a step outside the vehicle. So once we're outside the vehicle we want to make sure the mirrors are firmly attached to the vehicle and they're not going to fly off.
I did that.
We'll check the mirrors are firmly attached to the vehicle and they're not going to fly off.
Should be, I didn't.
There you go. You want to check your ramp. It functions like a ramp. ramp functions.
Steep, but it's fine.
It's a jump, that's what that is. You want to shut your doors via the emergency exit so you can make sure the outside emergency button works.
That's also in this one, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we're going to check the outside button works. That works. Checking the indicator does light up and is firmly attached to the vehicle. Yeah.
It will be eventually.
Need to check the tyres to make sure there's tread on them. Needs to be 1 millimetre over 75% of the white of the tyre. No gashes, no cuts, no cord showing. They look fine to me. Checking the wheel nuts to make sure there's no rust bleed, and they're all roughly the same. On this vehicle they will all read the same because they haven't got the fancy trim on them. Do need sanding. As we move down the vehicle, we're going to be checking that all the windows are intact. All the body panels, there's no sharp edges. The legal lettering is there. Carrying on down, looking for bodywork damage. When did that happen?
I think you did that, didn't you?
No, well, I was on the other side. Anyway, getting to the rear tyres, we're going to be checking again the tread on the rear tyres. 1 millimetre again, over 75%. On this time, we got the inner side. You'll be able to check for a flat by looking at the outer tyre to see if it's a bit down. Mine are because they're just low in air. No sharp edges or anything like that. Still checking for body panels and broken glass. Moving around to the lights. Obviously you can't check the brake lights because there's no one in the cab. However, you can check them on the reflection of the bus behind you or a wall. Bottom ones here are fogs on this vehicle, so they are working. Indicators working. Brake lights, well, they're illuminated. Reflectors are clean, crisp and not cracked. Reversing lights we can check at some other point because we already know they don't work on this vehicle. Making sure the bonnet is secure. Same with this side, making sure the reflectors are clean, not cracked. That's taking a knock, isn't it? That fog light. Anyway, got to check the coolant level if possible. On a lot of vehicles it will be unreadable, so just take a guess. On most vehicles you are unable to check the oil level, but on this vehicle you are able to check it, so you would open up the flap and make sure the oil level is good. If fitted with marker lights, you're going to check them. It doesn't work. Would you like to test the emergency door and ensure the emergency door works? Can you hear the buzzer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the emergency door works. Moving down again, wheels and tyres, we're not going to cover that again. Same rules. All the glass, all that, you're checking your fuel filler cap is secure. If your vehicle has AdBlue, making sure that is secure. No sharp edges again. Bit of body panel damage, you'd mark that on your defect card. Nothing is issue there. Wheels and tyres again, making sure everything is good. Indicator has a different one on this side.
It does, I noticed before.
Legal lettering, making sure that's there. Would you like to check this mirror, making sure this mirror is secure and not going to fall off the vehicle. This body panel is secure and not going to move. Coming round to the front, you're going to be checking the headlights are working. They are. You're going to be checking the indicators are working, which they are. You could check your screen wash at this point, but it's not on the list to do. However, if you are a coach, it's an idea to check it. You're checking your wipers by just pulling them off the windscreen slightly. Checking, making sure there's no damage along the wiper blade. It's clean, crisp, and then there's good tension on the windscreen. If you'd like to do that one. The light above the door's just come on. So again, we're just checking, we're just going to evict that spider. Making sure the crisp clean, all works. That looks good to me. It's a good tension on the windscreen. There is, because it all works. If you'd like to test the full beam. Yeah, that's working. Should just be able to see the change there. Moving around, as you go around as well, you check that all your destination displays are working. This one is a bit faulty, but we can bypass that. Moving to the inside of the vehicle. we're going to shut that annoying bleeping up so we can be heard. You want to be checking that all your stanchions and grab rails are secure by giving them a good tug. And he's remembered, you're checking the bell as you go along, making sure all your bells are working. Giving a tug on all the seats, making sure the seats are all secure and not going to go anywhere. Means the kids aren't going to throw them out the window. Getting to the back, he's just checking, also making sure there's no damage to the seats, they're not soiled in any way that's going to damage people's clothing. Making sure your brake glass hammers, if fitted, are there, that these are working. Making a note of any interior lights that are out. You can have 50% of your bus in darkness, as long as on a double decker the stair lights are lit, or your lights above the platform are lit. Do you want to test the emergency door from the inside, sir? That works as well. You must test the door from both in and outside to make sure that both latches and locks are working. So again, you just check that all your windows are functioning, you know, your aircon, that works. Aircon. All your legal lettering is there. Your fold up seats fold and go down and down. And that is about it for that. Yes, you check your number plates as well as you go around, making sure your front one and rear one do match. You check your tachometer if it's fitted. You check your speedo just as you move off. And you check your service and parking brake as well. Obviously your parking brake's working because we are parked and we're not moving anywhere. Your service brake you check just as you're pulling off by pressing the brakes and making sure that that works. So that is how you do your first use check and that question. Please walk around the vehicle and explain what projections and overhangs are. That's it, it's a projection.
That bit is an overhang.
Yeah, that's your front overhang, yes.
That bit is the rear overhang.
And then what allowances would you make for the overhang and projections on this vehicle?
Overhang can sweep over curves when turning, colliding with street furniture, pedestrians or other vehicles. Rear projections can come into contact with street furniture, pedestrians and other vehicles, John. And
Never hit another vehicle.
No, of course you've not. Good all-round observation is required for effective use of mirrors to check rear end sweep. We're about to make a long journey in very cold weather. Show me the checks you would make to this vehicle's mirror visually to ensure they are in serviceable condition.
I won't bother going. We need to make sure the mirrors are clean, not dirty, and they give the best possible view of the vehicle from the cab. You want to make sure your demisters are working properly, leaning over, they all work, and you want to make sure you've got enough fuel for the journey, because that could make it quite cold.
This is also for modern one because it says keep lenses and screen of any rear view video equipment clean and clear. This isn't
Yes.
like that.
Yes, for reversing any of your stuff that you use to reverse, you want to make sure that is clean as well. I didn't add that because again, you forget about it, it's not on this vehicle.
No, it's a reverse camera basically.
Yeah.
Show me how you would check all seatbelts in their condition.
Well, this vehicle doesn't have any, but a test bus must have seatbelts fitted for you to do this. You check them by giving them a quick tug and making sure that they're secure, and then checking, you pull out the entire seatbelt and making sure there's no damaged rails or hamster bites on the making the seatbelt weaker.
What are the legal requirements governing their use and your responsibility in this matter?
The responsibility of the driver is to ensure that everyone wears a seatbelt where fitted. If the seatbelt is there, you must wear it. They must place signs to ensure passengers are aware of this legal requirement, or the driver may inform the passengers for those that are a bit blind so they can't understand or read a sign. He will be able to tell them. If they then choose not to wear it, then they choose not to wear it, but it is the driver's responsibility to ensure everyone does know the legal requirements. Long-winded answer, no, but
how the hell do you know
demonstrate this one just for fun. Go on.
Your vehicle is stationary, the engine is running, and you are in the driving seat. You've just been involved in a road traffic accident.
Let me get my whiplash out, hang on, that's hurting.
What would you do now?
You need to turn off your vehicle, isolate it, contact your emergency services, warn any other people around you by putting your hazard lights on. For obvious reasons, we're not going to sit with them on. And then you need to go, is everyone alright back there? And wait for a response.
Yeah.
Show me the docking area for wheelchairs on this vehicle. Now at this point he will show you a picture where you will identify where the wheelchair should go. Obviously you can't really see it in this, but you're going to be going in the wheelchair spot. It's the only spot for the wheelchair. Explain how you would secure a wheelchair. Well, on a bus like this, the obvious way to secure a wheelchair is you'll be placing it up to the backrest, facing backwards. This ensures that when braking, the wheelchair doesn't go flying. If you're on a coach, you want to be explaining where the anchor points are to taper the wheelchair down. Also, if you're on a coach, you explain how the lift works, etc, etc. Which way should the wheelchair face? We've just covered that. It should face backwards or towards the rear of the vehicle, so the wheelchair does not move when the bus slows down. Please show me the different vehicle access points for a wheelchair I might use. Well, on a bus it's simple, front doors. There we go. You know, explain that this is, you're going to get on this way. There we go. So that is your mod 4. You'll show me, tell me, questions. There's a few other questions, but we will annotate them in because they are roughly the same, so they do require the same answers. So we'll just be repeating ourselves.